Climate change is seen as a serious threat to the security and prosperity of Canada, according to a stark brief from the Canadian Security Intelligence Service. The brief warns that the impacts of climate change could include the loss of coastal regions, increased natural disasters, food insecurity, water scarcity, migration pressures, and geopolitical conflicts. Additionally, Canada needs to prepare for the consequences of a warming world and take action to mitigate the risks. David Vignault, Canadian Security Intelligence Service Director.
Put simply, climate change compounds all other known human security issues and serves as an accelerant towards negative security outcomes. No country will be immune from climate change or associated risks.
Food is essential for human survival and well-being. True that. Indeed. I am a fan of food. And I'm gonna go out on a limb and say, you do too. But it does have a significant impact on the Earth's climate. A recent study published in Nature Climate Change estimates that the greenhouse gas emissions from future food consumption alone could add nearly 1 degree of warming to the global mean surface air temperature by 2100, assuming current dietary patterns and population scenarios. This makes it very difficult, if not impossible, to achieve the Paris Agreement goal of limiting global warming to well below 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. Therefore, it is crucial to understand the drivers and consequences of future warming from global food consumption, and to explore the potential solutions and policies to reduce the climate impact of food systems. Lead researcher Casey Ivanovich at Columbia University.
Methane has this really dominant role in driving the warming associated with the food systems. Sustaining the pattern of food production we have today is not consistent with keeping the 1.5 C temperature threshold. That places a lot of urgency on reducing the emissions, especially from the high methane food groups. We have to make the goal of sustaining our global population consistent with a climate-safe future.
Ladies and gentlemen, the ship has reached the shore.
And with that, the UN Ocean Treaty of the High Seas was an emotional done deal. After more than a decade of negotiations, the countries of the United Nations have agreed on the first ever treaty to protect the world's oceans that lie outside national boundaries. The UN High Seas Treaty places 30% of the world's oceans into protected areas, puts more money into marine conservation, and means new rules for mining at sea. Environmental groups say it will help reverse biodiversity losses and ensure sustainable development. The treaty is a historic achievement for global ocean governance and a milestone for the protection of marine life in international waters, which cover around half of the planet's surface, but have long been neglected and exploited. So, this happened. The 5th anniversary of the World Wildlife Day International's Youth Art Contest. This year's theme was Partnerships for Wildlife Conservation, which highlights people making a difference for wildlife and was hosted by the International Fund for Animal Welfare. Artists aged 4 to 18 focused on creating artwork on species that benefit from people working together to protect and conserve them. Azadine Downs, president of the International Fund for Animal Welfare.
These young artists of all ages have reminded us that today is an occasion where we acknowledge the importance of all wildlife species, especially those threatened or endangered, around the world, and how critical partnerships are in ensuring their continued survival for generations to come. The plight of endangered species is a sad reality, but people have the power to make a difference for wildlife. It's easy to get overwhelmed by all the negative news that you hear every day in the media. There are things we can do. We can do them as individuals, and we can save lives through organizations like IFAW.
So, Nola, time to do your thing.
Working. Assessment information in detail. Snow leopard numbers are reportedly stable or modestly increasing in some areas, but are likely to be declining in others, including recent localized extinctions which may have occurred in some areas of the former Soviet Union. A decline of at least 10% over the next 22+ years is estimated, given the growing threat related to increasing livestock numbers in some countries or emerging threats like intensified road construction and mineral extraction. Although poaching appears to have declined since the late 1990s, it is estimated that 221 to 450 snow leopards were poached annually since 2008. Threats. The major threats to snow leopards include habitat loss and degradation, poaching and illegal trade in their pelts and body parts, and human-wildlife conflict. Climate change is also a growing concern, as it can alter snow leopard habitat and affect their prey populations. Conservation. Efforts are underway to protect snow leopards and their habitat, including community-based conservation initiatives, protected area management, and efforts to reduce poaching and illegal trade. However, much more work is needed to ensure the long-term survival of this magnificent species. Scientific name: Panthera munchia. Common names: snow leopard, ounce. Native to Afghanistan, Bhutan, China, Tibet, India, Kazakhstan, Mongolia, Nepal, Pakistan, Russian Federation. IUCN Red List category and criteria: vulnerable. This has been Olay and Ollie K. Boomer with NOLA Comms for your climate change report coming from downtown Alberta.